There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought, it's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA, stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam, what? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Monday, April 14th. It's almost tax day, but we're paying the dues here with our coverage of sports and sports betting this week. Thank you for joining me. We'll find something to bet on here on a Monday after we wrapped up the NBA regular season yesterday, getting ready for the play-in tournament and our postseason in the NHL. We got a few games to go here, but we'll be ready for the playoffs with you here every day on the show. But first, we know what the headlines are for today. For sure, everyone's celebrating the victory for Rory McIlroy, unless you had, one of the others in your bets. But still, everyone a pretty big fan of this guy, man. It's hard to find the reception of the roar for any Masters winner since Tiger Woods. While Woods was almost fervorish, if that's a phrase you could use when he won his titles, for Rory, it was more of an outpouring of love and support for this player who had been deprived a Masters title, a true golfing legend, winning at Augusta. But Tiger, that was something different, right? That'll never happen again. But for Rory, did feel like more love for this man than we've seen for anyone here at the Masters for many. I couldn't cash with Rory yesterday. I got on a little bit of action with some possibilities involving Rory, but what a ride for Rory with his first screen drama all morning long. Could you find a better sporting event this year, you guys, than this one? I know we've talked about some others and some clunkers too, but the putt there to win over Rose. They had a big lead on the back nine, kind of gave it back, missed those putts, hit it in the water, hit it in the bunker. Rose with a comeback. Could have been a comeback of the ages for Rosie there, and the two men from England battling it out there. And Bryson, my guy, of course, we know what happened to him when he dunked it in the water twice. And Scotty still not able to put it together right now. You got to figure just a little bit of a health issue maybe with his hand, or I don't know, maybe he's coming back to the pack a little bit. So what a great tournament, though, and a great sporting event, the Masters. It feels like a deep breath here as we get ready to head into the postseason. And Major League Baseball yesterday, certainly a pretty fun day of action in the major leagues yesterday. And let's see what you guys had in the MLB. We'll see who's here today. Not much going on here. Looks like a light crowd right now. So allow me to give another minute or two to get everyone here. Jerry Jones had a big winner on Rory. Everyone, Thomas Lewis is here to help me out with my consensus parlay from the Chat All-Stars. Good morning, everyone. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, the fastest growing, I'm told, sports betting channel on YouTube. If we don't get this program shared, Mikey's going to replace me. And so you better pass it along, especially on a week like this. They got another morning show lined up, and they're going to kick me to, maybe earlier, because we might start this show earlier. I know you guys get tired of waiting for me, so hey, if we start the show at 8:30 Eastern, then we'll get it started by 8:45. How'd you like that? Robert McCormick's here as well. Nuke took some Rory here, and Bobby Max talking a little bit of F1 from yesterday. Markel's here to get us started. Jermaine, we've got AOD. Thank you, Damon Waring. Thanks, you guys. Feels like some troopers here on a Monday. We don't have much. It'll be a short show, actually, with this abbreviated Major League Baseball card and just a few games on the ice. And most of them have a little bit of impact here for the postseason. Maybe one or two don't. Markel's ready to go. He's on the Tigers here today. Sub is here. Great job by the guys this weekend. Sub with those great picks from Saturday night. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage there. I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, of course, but man, the guys got off to a great start with Cornell, right? Sub, and how you and Jeff kind of threaded the needle there with the Sumadehi Raposo fight, and of course Ola Jacek as well. Sub, great job by you guys. Jandroba, we had a great time there. Thanks for the invite, Sub. Saturday night, that's my night off. I watch my favorite sports betting show, but I don't know if we don't get Jim back. I might have to show up on the panel on Saturday night and get on the air with the guys. I was only 11-2 with my picks on Saturday night. What happened on those other two? There, Action Jackson, hello, and Cash Kane is here today as well. All right, we'll touch a little bit here on the major leagues and talk. I was having a little bit of a slump there midday. I'm glad the Masters kept me occupied. There, I didn't cash too many of my, did have some top fives and top 20s that got me home, but my golfers kind of faded there a little bit. And Jim Deweiger as well. Hello. Hey, we've got our first steam of the morning. Came in just as I was getting the intro going. The Colorado Rockies are taking some steam here at this hour in their matchup against the LA Dodgers. Hey, if you're the Dodgers and you've all of a sudden hit a little bit of slump, why not try the Colorado Rockies, say the Sharps? The Rockies just got shut out 3 consecutive games in San Diego, so I'm sure they'll come through today. They're moving on the Rockies a little bit, taking a big price. Dodgers are over $3 by the time we hit the air here this morning with Dusty May and Senzatella, but maybe just a little bit too much for the Sharps to want to turn down right now. That Rockies offense can't even score a run, and now you're going up against a Dodger team that, they're in a slump, Dodger-wise. All right. And here, you know what? I think the guys here this week, maybe at my encouragement, I don't know. I told them they want to go on the air for every show right now. And see, I said, hey, slow down, you guys. I want to be on the air all the time, and I try to pace myself. But they, without any UFC this week, I think the guys are going to get together on Friday night this week and maybe take a deserved Saturday off. Friday night might be it will be our coverage of mixed martial arts this week with the PFL. We're in the early rounds there, and I don't think they're going to go on for every card, but once they fold the PFL back into the Thursday night slot, I think we'll have the ability to kind of use our Thursday night show and the PFL coverage. But this week, without any UFC on Saturday, I think the guys are going to do something on Friday night with the PFL card. I had a good time on that show trying to make some picks with the experts. Joe Alvarado, good morning, hello. And in Major League Baseball here from Sunday, you guys tell me what your favorite games were from the Sunday card here yesterday. But man, like I said, I've had trouble for a little bit. You guys had Toronto, team consensus winner there in the game against Baltimore. Nice job for you guys picking the Blue Jays over the Orioles there, and Miles Straw, a couple of RBIs in that one. San Francisco and New York, I did have the over in that one here on the show with the Giants and the Yankees. It was Jung Ho Lee playing long ball in that one with a couple of home runs, and the Giants are 11-4 now. Washington and Miami, we did give out the total over here yesterday in that one. Mervis with that 2-run home run in that one, and the Marlins put up a big number there late. Washington led for early, but Miami won at 11-4 in the end. Team Steam consensus: you guys had the Reds yesterday as a winner, taking advantage. The Bucks are now 5-11. I had the under as my play in that one, and then I couldn't find a winner for hours. It felt like in the major leagues. But we did have a premium pick winner with the New York Mets and the Athletics game to go under. Kodai Senga, he's looking pretty good for sure. And I don't know. Is it a pattern I'm noticing, right? We talk about the Athletics and these totals. Are the day games going under and the night games going over in Sacramento? We know it can heat up a little bit, but it's only mid-April. Arizona, I had the winner here yesterday over Milwaukee. Lane Thomas had the big hit in that one. Also had a premium pick winner on the under in that game. Team Steam consensus, you guys rolled with the Padres here, and man, they continue. They shut out Colorado all 3 games this weekend. Man, these guys are hot. They've got the best record in the league. They're my team, by the way. I had the under in that game as my premium pick winner there with King. A rarity in the major leagues, a complete game shutout 2-hitter for King. He looks like a throwback in a way. You could put this guy in a 1970s uniform for Michael King. Seattle, I had them yesterday over Texas for a winner. Cal Raleigh, the 2-run home run in that one. And late night, I had it here on Sunday Night Baseball, the under with the Cubs and the Dodgers. Dodger bats are a little bit quiet here right now. Give the Cubs some credit. Now the Cubs are going to come into San Diego and take on the Padres. That should be an epic series, it feels like, here this weekend. All right, NBA wrapped up. We know the playoff pairings in the NBA, and we know the play-in as well. Remember, in the play-in game, the 7-8 game, as we've talked about here, that is a kind of a win and you're in situation in the 7-8 game when it goes off, because the winner advances to the play-in final game. Both those teams are in, so that makes it a little bit exciting when the 7 and the 8 meet. We did see some good finishes yesterday. Wasn't the best with the card. We know a lot of it, didn't matter. Some of it did, and it came down to that Warriors-Clippers game there late, right? With the Clippers, we talked about it. Clippers got these guys' number a little bit. Did take overtime, and hey, there was some drama with that. And Golden State ends up getting the number 7 seed still. I say still, but well, when it talks about, remember what I said about the number 7 seed, you're in, baby. You're in, 7 seed never has not qualified for the playoffs in this format in, a few years sample. But the Clippers end up getting the win, and they got that seed there in the regular playoffs. So, all right, we did have some winners. Hey, I took a few plays on games that didn't matter. I had Washington as a winner yesterday for our VIP. I could only send it out as a VIP. We're not going to put the mediocre games behind the paywall, but I had the Pacers as well laying the points against Cleveland, but that was weird. It took overtime. And also Charlotte got the money against Boston. On the show here, we did have the under Dallas and Memphis yesterday. Had a premium pick winner, Phoenix and Sacramento game to go under. We also had the winner here on the show with a Denver and Houston game to go over yesterday. So season's over in the NBA. We know the matchups. Orlando and Atlanta will play for a spot in the postseason. Golden State and Memphis. Winner goes to the regular playoffs, and then Sacramento and Dallas and get their shot to play the loser of the Golden State Memphis game. Winner makes the playoffs, and then Chicago and Miami with a chance to play the loser of the Orlando Atlanta game. Winner makes the playoffs, and then there's 2 more games to determine the seeding for the number 7 and 8. And that's how the playoffs work. All right. Hey, I'm keeping an eye on some space tourism over here. Man, I hope good luck to those ladies. 6 ladies on a uncaptained space flight, I guess, for a few minutes today. Kind of interesting to see. Space, nobody's going to run the ship. They're on there on their own. 6 tourists, including Katy Perry and Gail King. I guess that's a story of the day here in the regular world. All right, let's get rolling here. If that's what we're talking about, we don't have much else going in. NHL yesterday, did see a few more things happen. We got a few more games to talk about here today. I did have Calgary here on the show last night, taking care of business against the Sharks. As a winner here on the show, I had CBJ again over Washington as the Caps get ready for the postseason by just mailing it in there a little bit. And we did have the Toronto Maple Leafs on the puck line against Carolina yesterday, but really got to get to the playoffs here. It feels like I kind of want to be like everybody else and say, man, I don't like these games, but should be able to, have some winners. Oldie, hello there, Jermaine. Nice to see you. Nuke says, smash it, like it, pass it around here. When I do this, that means hit the like button here. Oh, there we go. When I do that, hit the like button. That's what we have to do here. All right, let's get going here in just a second. Let me do a commercial for my picks today over at winnable.com. Hopefully just told you about a few of them here from yesterday. And hey, I can't spend all day with you, but I'll do a show every day, come in and talk about the card, give you a few tidbits, hopefully pick some winners. But you can still be in touch with me and get my best plays every day over at winnable.com as games approach and the time gets closer. I put out premium picks every day, and you can get them for just 56 cents a day when you subscribe to my picks over at winnable.com. All the major sports, and if you subscribe to the free picks over there as well, I give out some sports in some other competitions, sometimes tennis, soccer, NASCAR, golf, and the like. So please consider subscribing to my picks. This is how you support me here on the show. And like I said, if we don't get those views up, Mikey will replace me. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. You see me on some other channels, but this is my home right here at the Sports Money Network. Believe you me. All right, let's do it. Get to the action today. I feel like I'm stalling because I don't want you to leave me here today because we don't have that much to talk about, really. We got some Major League Baseball and we've got the NHL tonight, and there's only 6 games. So let's go and talk about them right now and get the show started here. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here today. We're just rolling here right now, and things are looking good already, aren't they? All right, here are the Nationals taking on the Bucks here. Oh, man, the Bucks, they can't even win with Paul Skeens, it feels like right now. I mean, when you're a team that's not very good, you better win with one of the best pitchers in the game, and it's just not happening right now for the Bucks at all, not winning with anybody. And it's got to be a little bit troublesome here for the Pittsburgh Pirates because, this isn't too good right now, the way things are going. But bringing in the Nationals here, they have struggled as well. So they're just 6-9 so far. Pittsburgh 5-11. Pittsburgh's offense is both pitching and offense. Pittsburgh just averaging 3.1 runs per game and allowing nearly 5 runs per game. The Nationals are averaging over 5 runs per game allowed as well. For Skeens here, it'll be his 4th start, 3.44 ERA, 0.81 whip, 179 batting average against. He goes out there, does his job. Gonna need run support as well, but you're always gonna face a pretty good pitcher when you're Skeens. But today you got the Lord here just making his 2nd start, 5th appearance. Washington did win his only start so far this season. He's got a 1.8 ERA and a 1.8 whip, 250 batting average against a 312 BABIP. So jury's still out, obviously, and he doesn't have a terrific control so far. But right now, Pittsburgh about 220, 7 over 15, maybe even a little bit higher right now, 7 over 20 here, or even, let's see, I thought I saw 7 over 20 something in this one. So let's go to the chat here, maybe start to get some picks in here. And, hey, not a great card here. Let me get my picks out. as well here. So far, Skeens, he's been a loser as far as profitability is concerned, if you know what I mean. He's costing you already uh, about 35 cents on the dollar here so far this season. And let's see what you got here. Let's get ready for the action on Monday. All right, here we go, chat. Washington's been a dead solid over here so far in these last few games. Where's the chat? Here we go. Terrell wants them to get stuck up there as long as they don't, they're only going there for 4 minutes. In fact, I see the ship is cruising up here right now. They show an Oprah. It's breathtaking. They go up there and they get to a point where they're going to spend about 4 minutes in weightlessness. So it's really just a quick trip. I think we'll be done here by the time we finish the baseball, probably. Maybe we get to see it even land here. All right. Let's see what we got this game here. And thank you, Laker Boy. Nice to see you today. Right? How do I do it? And this was all by design to do it this early. I want to show up there all day a little bit. And I was just nobody was doing early shows, but now they're all doing early shows for some reason. Maybe I was onto something. Here's Luis is on Washington run line here. I want to mention one piece of steam coming in right now in the NHL. I know we're going to do the baseball here, but Utah in one of the games that really doesn't mean anything today, but Utah is taking some steam here right now at about $1.35, $1.40, probably going to go up to $1.50 here. Maybe Utah taking the steam against Nashville on the road in a game that means nothing. Washington run line here for Thomas in this one. And Cash Canes on the Pirates, first 5 here. Jermaine here says he took the Nats money line. I think I'm reading that right. And Jermaine there making fun of the 1.8 whip. Can the Nats hit Skeens, right? Is that what's going to happen here today? Skeens is still going to be. It's not like he ever throws in a bad start. If he goes up against a good team, he might have a mediocre start, but you're always going to get a pretty strong effort no matter what from this guy. Jerry says Nats run line. And put it maybe -1, he's saying right there. Okay, Fernando talking about the total. Cash Kane. Bucks offense struggling. Jermaine was on Utah. He got that. CLV. All right, Cash Kane's going with a very low-scoring game. That's almost a lock there. I'm not saying it's a lock, but I'm saying if you feel like 4-0, you got to feel confident about this game. All right, Jerry says, don't even bother with hockey. Let's just get off the air. Robert's got the under here in this one. All right. Pittsburgh's won 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams, but Washington right now certainly struggling on the road, just 1-5 so far. Pittsburgh is 5-11, sure, but they're also 3-3 at home so far, so 2-8 on the road, 3-3 at home. Still, this price, $1.85, is probably I don't know what you might think, but it's probably about 35 cents too high. I know it's tough to want to try to even consider Washington here, but I think I'm being realistic about that. Doesn't mean I won't try Pittsburgh here, but I don't think I can at that inflated price. So, all right, see if we got any other comments here. And Jim says maybe a little weather here today with these two. All right, I'll look at it real quick. We got all day. We don't. I don't want to jeopardize your time. But we have time to look at the weather here a little bit. And, yeah, looks okay, though, to me. Looks okay here. All right, I'm going to grab Washington here on the run line. It's a very reasonable price here to take a 1.5 right now at -$1.20 or so here. It just feels like at 220 or so. Maybe it's a little bit cheaper at some of the sharper books. here, but still, even the sharpest books are over $2. And I really can't honestly think that a bad team like Pittsburgh and a bad team like Washington, no matter what Paul Skeens is, and no matter how Washington has to go about the pitching situation here, is going to be a $2 favorite right now. So I'm going to have to take Washington in this one. All right, next up. The Giants are taking on the Phillies here. Is that price right, you guys? Let me make sure I get that right at $1.15 or so here in this one, with Walker for the Phillies going up against Roop here for the Giants. Man, the Giants are playing terrific, but the Phillies aren't exactly slouches right now, are they? At 9-6 coming in, the Giants are 11-4. Yeah, for Walker here, there might be questions long term with can he have a good season, but so far so good for Taijuan Walker. 1-0 in 2 games, hasn't allowed an earned run yet. 210 batting average against, 1.12 whip. Roop, we definitely a step down here for the Giants a little bit. I think I prefer Taijuan Walker here. Roop, 3.6 ERA in 2 starts. The Giants are 1-1 in his starts. He's 0-1 here overall so far. 282 batting average against, 400 BABIP so far for Roop. So I don't know. Look, I want to try to take the Giants here as much as possible at good prices or whatever, but here at $1.15 or $1.20, oh man, I know the sharps are all over the Giants today. And are you getting enough for me to want to consider them here? Man, chat, let me know about this here in this one, because man, the Phillies are not to be overlooked. Look, if anything, I've been on this Giant situation here right now so far. Both teams allowing 3.5 runs per game so far this season. Giants have gone over in 9 of their 14 games. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has gone under in 11 of their 15 games so far. So kind of a contrast there. If you look at these bullpens right now, I mean, the Giants have the second best bullpen in the major leagues behind the Padres. And, Philly's bullpen's been okay for sure. 4.25, been mediocre, I guess. Okay, so Giants have actually won 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams. Giants have gone over in 6 of their last 7 on the road here, but Philadelphia's gone under in 5 straight. Phillies have won 6 of their, let's see, make sure we get that right. Phillies are 5-1 at home so far this season, and they've won 7 of the last 8 games at home against San Francisco. But maybe the San Francisco team is as good as their record indicates, and they will be. They've had great starts before and kind of faded a little bit. Let's see what you've got here with this one. Cash Kane. He says Philly's on the money line, and Robert likes the under here in this one. And Jerry says, how about Giants first 5? They're the hotter team. Walker's been over shooting here so far. And Fernando on the over here. Terrell says you got to look at the numbers here. Giants are a team that have hit Taijuan Walker so far. Phillies for cash. Oh, we said that. And Thomas says Phillies at home here in this one. And for me, it's just a matter of price almost, it looks like to me. It feels like a $1.15 still. Man, these sharps love the Giants, though. I'm promising you the sharps are all over the Giants here in this one. I just don't feel like we're getting enough money, enough price here. And Jermaine says we're going to beat up on the Padres for commenting about the mediocrity of somebody. Who has the Bucks, right? Jermaine, I'm trying to remember. Is it the Bucks for Jermaine? I think so, but I don't even know what I said now about who's mediocre besides me. All right, man. See the numbers here a little bit with the Phillies. Oh yeah, they're not Phillies aren't mediocre. I just said they were 9-6, right? I mean, they're looking pretty good so far. I like these Phillies right now, but it just seems like I'm saying they should be a bigger favorite here. The Sharps are all over the Giants, and the Sharps are they're having a pretty good start to the season. That's for sure. So I'm just trying to, gather if I can deal with going against the Sharps here, and just trying to think that my numbers are right. That Phillies maybe at home here against a inexperienced pitcher here right now should be a little bit more of a favorite. So Roop's done, Roop is hey, he might be all that here right now, and this should be a pretty good game. But I got to take the Phillies, man. I got to fade the Sharps here. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to. I don't want to. But it's all over. We've done 2 games and the thing's back on the ground here. The flight is over. The capsule is landed, and that was fast. How much that cost? Well, I know it's a private. Bezos sent up his girlfriend there, didn't he? All right. All right. Jermaine's on the Phillies here, and not much from you guys in this one. Jermaine says it just look, Walker's been good, and there's no. I mean, you got to be at least a little bit honest with yourself, right? At any Walker can be very, very solid and get through many, several innings. It feels like so. All right, I'm trying Philly, but the Sharps are on the Giants as far as I'm concerned. All right, got a few dozen in here with me here on a light Monday. Let's go with the Royals and the Yankees here in this one with Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals in this one. And you've got Carlos Carrasco for the Yankees. Yankees are going to be favored here. $1.40, 9 under 15. I think shaded to the under here, it feels like right now in this one with Carrasco coming in. Struggling for sure so far, 1-1 with a 7.71 ERA, 1.6 the whip, 333 batting average against, 343 BABIP. A good thing the Yankees can mash. They're down to averaging 6.3 runs per game. Going up against Lugo here, 1-1. Royals are 2-1 in the Lugo starts. 3.24 ERA and a 1.26 whip so far this season for Lugo. A 246 batting average against with a 289 BABIP coming in here in this one as we get the series opener between these two. Let's see what you guys might have in this one between Kansas City and New York. It's a bit of a graveyard for Kansas City. They've lost 13 of their last 16 games here, 13 of their last 14, on the road when playing the Yankees. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but the Yankees are going over in all the home games right now. For sure, Yankees right now so far this season at home, 7-2 to the over so far. Yankees come in just 8-7 now after all the hubbub of the early season start. Royals are a 500 team. Yankees here. Let's see what you got. Yankees here have lost 5 of their last 7 right now coming into this one, but the Royals have lost 4 of their last 5 on the road and 4 of the last 5 against the Yankees. Kansas City's gone under in 6 of their last 8 games. It seems like they go under a little bit more at home than they do on the road as a home favorite than they do as a road dog so far, but a little really close here early on. Luis is on the over here. Cascade Royals. Here's Yeehaw for better. I'm not going to retire. This has been one of the tougher ones he's put out there. Royals run line for Thomas. Terrell here on the Yankees. And Jermaine says, is Jermaine switching here? Nobody's saying he's going to take the Yankees later on. Maybe think the line will move there a little bit off the Yankees. Maybe get a better price later, I'm thinking Jermaine might be saying. So for the Yankees here, The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. And I'm going to make a pick here. Uh, Not a lot from the chat here on a Monday. We got some steam coming in right now in a game we're going to be previewing here momentarily. Let me get this one to you here. Detroit and Milwaukee. We're seeing some steam to the over here right now in this one with Detroit and Milwaukee. Right now, they did hit it, and it's going to be going to. It was a 7 over, but I think we're starting to see some 7.5 unders here right now as Detroit and Milwaukee's getting hit with a little bit of steam here right now on the over. All right. And let's make the call here right now. Thanks, Nine Legacy, for chipping in a little bit. Good to see you again. And Jermaine's got an exact score line. He loves Detroit to rock here in a high score. Jerry says, you usually can take the Royals here against Carrasco, but so far the Royals not producing enough offense on the road, and they're averaging just 3.3 runs per game overall. The Yankees are obviously got the bigger bats here, but the Royals pitching has been pretty good so far this season. Bullpen about 3.78 ERA here so far. So all right, I'll have to make my call here in this one. It looks easy for me. I mean, come on. Uh, uh, so far, with Lugo and Carrasco, up to $1.49 under 15, it feels like. All right. I got to take the over here in this one with Kansas City and the Yankees. Yankees going over in all these home games. And Carrasco's pitching, don't forget. So maybe you can have it. But Yankees are giving up so far 5.3 runs, 5.1 runs per game now. So I'm going over in this one. All right. Cash Kane says Lugo to deal here, and Robert is on the Royals in this one.
Steam playing.
All right, next up, we've got the Red Sox taking on the Rays. Tanner Houck going up against, wait a minute, is it really Shane Baz? I thought we already did our Shane Baz shtick here. Tanner Houck comes in, fourth start. He's 0-1 with a 4.41 ERA coming in, 1.46 the whip, 288 batting average against, and a 304 BABIP for Shane Baz in this one. You got Baz 1-0 with a 1.38 ERA, 1.07 whip, 213 batting average against, and a 300 BABIP. Baz is striking out over 30% of the batters so far this season. Right now, Tampa Bay, $1.25 or so, 8.5 over at minus 120 here in this one. We'll go over some of the numbers, get your pick here in the matchup between Tanner Houck, Shane Baz, Boston at Tampa Bay. Both teams coming off of a win yesterday, of course. Tampa Bay knocked off the Braves 8-3. Boston over the White Sox yesterday. White Sox, they really stopped those with all those great pitchers. The Red Sox only scored 6 runs in 3 games at the White Sox this weekend, and the White Sox actually won that series against the Red Sox. So, oh boy, look out. All right, get some of the numbers here with these, and you can make your pick as well in this matchup. Boston's lost 5 of their last 7 games coming into this one, but Tampa Bay hasn't been too smooth either here of late, having lost 7 of their last 10. But Boston's 1-3 so far as a dog. Tampa Bay here 7-5 at home, 6-4 as an underdog. Red Sox are definitely an under team so far, 3-7 to the under on the road here. And we know Tampa's had some unders at home, but it's starting to come back a little bit with some higher scoring games. But 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Let's go to the chat right now in the game between Boston and Tampa Bay here. And Thomas starts us off with the Rays. And Cash Gain said, yeah, with the little pitching change there. Joe T is here. He just spent time. He says, good luck. I'm back to the real world. I think Joe was in the burn unit of his local hospital, apparently. Let's all wish Joe well. Seriously injured in his vacation and had to seek medical attention for third degree burns there in Florida. All right. Jerry's got the Rays in this one. Luis is on the over here. Robert is on the under in this one. And 9 Legacy Red Sox on the money line. Look, it's almost a toss up here between these two. Tampa Bay's favored, but still even money or so, maybe plus 105 there. And let's take a look here. I'll make my play. You guys are done, it looks like, in this one with Boston and Tampa Bay. Could it be that I'm going to be on a bunch of overs here today? Follow Joe on X if you want to know more about our concern. Okay, give me the over here in this one. Jermaine here. I'll go over. I'm not ready to make a call yet on the side. Maybe I'm got a premium here. All right. I'll take over here in this one with Hauk and Boz. I think the trends kind of say under here, but I'm going to try this one to go over here. I wish, I kind of liked it, but 8.5 over kind of looks a little bit hyped up. So, all right, here we go. The Braves are going to take on the Blue Jays here with Holmes here going for the Braves and Lucas for the Blue Jays. Lucas, good numbers so far. This left-hander for Toronto, 2-0 so far. Hasn't allowed an earned run yet. A .67 ERA, 114 batting average against, and a 167 BABIP for the Braves here. Holmes makes his third start. He's 0-1 with a 4 ERA and a 1.67 whip so far this season. 219 batting average, 286 BABIP. Big time control problem so far for Holmes, it looks like. The widely reported steam did come in on the Braves here, and has driven this price down slightly. I'm showing the Braves. I'm showing the Braves as a favorite now. Here, I guess the Braves have already turned it around, huh? All it takes is a little trip here, maybe to Toronto to get things going. Come on. All right. Let's update the line here. The Braves are mostly about, $1.15, maybe a little lower, but we'll call it 115 for Atlanta here right now. And we'll put the total at 9 over. For the most part, 9 over 20, it feels like. Maybe the total's going down here a little bit, but it feels like runs to me. All right, you guys' comments are starting to come in here in this one with Braves and Blue Jays. For Atlanta, obviously, there's struggles here. I don't know why this is moving in their direction. Toronto's pretty decent so far. They're 9-7 coming in. Yeah, it was a great weekend for Toronto going up against the Orioles there. They lost the first one. Well, we had the rain out there, right? 2 game canceled. So for Atlanta, though, they lost the series to Tampa Bay. Remember, they had to come in a little bit fatigued after that late night in Philly. They ended up losing 2 of 3 here and are now 1-9 on the road. That has stopped the Sharps from moving the Braves to a favorite here against a Toronto team that's 5-2 at home so far this season. Now, maybe the Braves, certainly the progression here of the Braves should be able to get it going here eventually, but Atlanta has lost the last 6 times they've come to both trips in here. They got swept over the last 2 years. So they've lost 10 of the last 12 to the Blue Jays overall. They can't even beat them at home. Atlanta struggling, no doubt. Toronto's won 4 of their last 6. They're also, like I said, pretty good record at home. Toronto 5-11 to the under so far, 2-7 to the under as an underdog. At home, they're 3-4 to the under. So maybe it perks up a little bit here on at home, but should see some offense, I would think, today from the Blue Jays. I'm taking them here for sure. Now, as a dog, give me the Blue Jays. I'm sure the Braves are going to come back and be all, usual Braves. They need to get healthy a little bit here. And yeah, they should be, better than they are so far. But how can you trust them at this point, even as, now that it's moved higher? Toronto for Thomas Spoons is here in the chat joining us. Spoons, oh man, I saw Spoons yesterday on that great show. That was a great show they had there yesterday. The uh, late game, was it the Sunday night game they were covering? Cash Kane's on the Blue Jays. Luis is on the Jays here. Lots of Jays. Jays first 5, money line, full game under. And 9 Legacy says, I took the Braves there. I was on the Braves money line as a dog today, says 9 Legacy. Lots of Jays. Jays going to be the first consensus, so it feels like. Justin here, sports money is money. And he's like, this one to go over. I'm taking the Jays. So is the consensus here. Consensus winner. Consensus play. Toronto, first one. Usually we come right out of the gate. First game or two, we can't help ourselves, but took us a few here. Hope we can get another consensus play here somewhere. All right, the Mets and the Twins here with Holmes. Is he pitching in 2 spots here? Did I make a typo? Clay Holmes here for the Mets going up against Joe Ryan. A Minnesota favorite here, $1.15 or so. 8 under 20, and that isn't necessarily, maybe it is a typo. 8 under 20, though, for sure is the total here, it feels like, in this matchup between the Mets and Minnesota here on Monday. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game, so I don't know. I thought it was a little bit higher before anyways. And now it's all the way down to 8 under 20, like we're going to get outstanding pitching performance here from these guys. But, man, I don't know. All right, let's take a look at the numbers, at least with these turkeys, and see what's going on for Clay Holmes. 1-1 with a 4.3 ERA, 1.7 the whip so far, 276 batting average against, a 4.10 BABIP for Ryan. 1-1, 2.65 ERA. Minnesota 0-2-1 to the under with Joe Ryan so far. 0.70 whip and a 200 batting average against, a 220 BABIP. So Ryan's been much better than Holmes, I guess, statistically so far. But the Mets are 10-5, looking pretty good, and the Twins not so much. 5-11 here, complete opposite. Mets are actually pretty hot here, a good record, and they're only playing better, it feels like, here of late, having won 8 of their last 10 games overall. And Minnesota off to a dismal start here at home too, just 2-4. Now the Mets are 1-2 straight up as an underdog so far this season, but they're, I'm not saying exceeding their expectations yet, but 10-5, not bad for sure so far. Minnesota's been a big time under, but the Mets have been even a bigger time under. These two teams are combined to go 10-19 to the under so far. Mets are 0-3 to the under as a dog. Minnesota under here very frequently of late, under in 6 of their last 7 games overall. Mets are 3-6 to the under on the road, but still here, this total feels like let's go to the chat. See what you've got here in this one with Minnesota hosting the Mets. And it's going to be Terrell with a Rays. Oh, that's the last game there. Rays and Jays. Rays and Jays. You can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay. Luis, anybody? Luis here is on the Mets. Justin, like the Twins here in this one. Cash Kane on the under. Here's Thomas on the Mets today. And Joe Spoons here says with Ryan's necessity to go to his fastball, the Mets will smash here. There's Bobby Mack says, give me the Mets. The Laker voice does not like the Mets, and the Twins are trash. Bring up the next game. Here's Thomas says the Mets are consensus play in this one. Now that makes me pivot immediately. I'll go over here in this one.
Steam
I'm
playing.
going to go over with the Mets and the Twins. Just want to report we're seeing some steam right now on NBA playoff opener, which is still several days away, but the total is moving drastically lower right now. Right now, on the game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the LA Lakers, we saw this one go as high as 219.5, but we're starting to see 217.5. This is a serious move on a game that is basically being played this Saturday, but Timberwolves and Lakers game total moving under here. The public is hard on the under as well, but this is a coordinated move here right now. It looks like to the under. Lakers and Timberwolves game on Saturday. So, hey, I feel like we got to keep abreast of that one. Also, we did get some steam on the over in the game between San Francisco and Philly. I might have been going over something else here, but we've seen some steam to the over in that matchup. We've already talked about it, and we were talking about, at the time that the total was 8.5, but right now it's 9 under virtually everywhere here. 9 under 15, 9 under 20. There was a move to the over in the game between San Francisco and Philadelphia today. Also, we saw some steam come in on Florida Panthers against the Rangers. The Panthers were $1.60 or so here. I don't know how I missed these. Maybe I was really into you guys. Philadelphia here, though, we're seeing Florida here right now, though, we're seeing up to 170 here right now in the matchup with the Rangers tonight. All right, here we continue here right now. So Thomas says Mets are a consensus. So that's going to put me on the over here in this one with the Mets and Philly tonight. Action Jackson's on the Mets, 9. Legacy Mets run line here. And Jerry says with Ryan being a fly ball pitcher and the wind blowing out dramatically here tonight, he says take the Mets. I think this is what he's saying. Take the Mets and the over here in this one. The Mets to come and bash it. Here with this offense, definitely looking pretty great. This team looking pretty great. I do want to look at this so real quick also and see what you guys are saying about this. With that weather too, straight out to center field there, 16, 17, 18, 19 miles an hour. Temperatures brisk 40 degree, for just over 40 degrees, getting colder throughout the night. All right. Next up, let's go to the matchup between the Tigers and the Brewers here in this one. The Tigers, $1.65. Really got to pay the price here, don't you? With Tariq Skubal here. Yeah, they're 9-6. Brewers are playing a lot better. They're 8-8. And they do have Tyler Alexander here in this one. We love Skubal, but really, this is what it feels like. I want to say here with a $1.65 price tag on this one. Hey, I don't mind this start for Detroit at 9-6 right now. You got to be pretty happy with them. Skubal, of course, solid numbers. 1-2 record though, 3.78 ERA, 1.2 the WHIP, 246 batting average against. Getting a few jokes. We know he's not a Mr. Atlas out there or anything, but the widely reported steam did come in on Detroit here in this one. But man, come on, $1.65. doesn't feel right. Tyler Alexander so far, he's not going to go very deep. We know he fills a bunch of roles pitching wise, but he's a left-hander here, 1-0 with a 2.84 ERA and a 1.18 WHIP so far, 182 batting average against, 226 the BABIP, but you're kind of going to have to get into the bullpen a little bit here for sure with Milwaukee, and that's where everything goes awry. Milwaukee, one of the worst bullpens in the league so far. That's been their big bugaboo, and I guess maybe that's also why you're not going to trust a guy like Alexander, who's not going to go very deep. And you got Detroit, who's bullpen's been okay so far, 3.91, but dollars. I keep going back to the price here. It feels like I'm sure everyone's going to love Detroit, and they should win the game. But again, I just feel like I'm such a market player, and that's my downfall sometimes. But all right, here's Robert on the Brewers here. He sees it the way I do a little bit. I'm sure we all agree that Skubal, once he rounds into form here, should be fine. But here's Cash Kane is on the Tigers on the money line. Thomas likes the over. Did I say that already? Thomas likes the over here in this one. And Cash Kane likes the under. Fernando says, the Brewer, come on. It's not even so much right, Fernando, that they're 8-8. They've been playing, remember, they got off to that awkward start there a little bit. So, they really weren't hitting the ground running too much. But all of a sudden, they're won 5 of their last 6 at home right now. They've won 8 of 12 overall after that 0-4 start. Detroit's won 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams, and Detroit's playing hot right now. They've won 7 of their last 9, so they're going to be pretty popular. Luis is on the under. He's on the Brewers here, and 9 legacy. I think this means first 5 and full game. Ladder up Skeens here. Skubal. Ladder up Skubal here, says Jermaine. Jerry says Tigers -1 and take the live over early in the game there. I think that's what he's saying. And Irish King says 8-8 in last 2 games. No, I think that is support for Detroit. I've got to take Milwaukee. I just don't think the price is realistic here. I'll take them on the run line. They're minus $1.40 or so. So that way I'll acquiesce a little bit to the everyone liking the Tigers here. I think they're the more popular team in the chat. Give me the run line for Milwaukee. I got to respect my folk. Uh-oh. Am I on? Okay, there we go. I hit something. And Jerry, thank you. There's Jerry talking about his Rory win again. Great job. All right, next up here, the Astros and Framber on the road is a favorite here. He's a favorite as well. No, Framber's done pretty well, obviously. I spoke too soon. The Cardinals are now favored in this one, aren't they? Tonight with Sonny Gray on the mound. Cardinals, actually, here. I think we can call them almost $1.15 here. And just glancing over at our space tourists here, talking about it. All right. For Sonny Gray here, $1.15. Total 7.5 under. 7.5 under at -120. This total here, it feels like it's been the same price. Let me pop it up there on the screen. And this one, there we go. 7.5 under at -115. We'll write that down here a little bit. All right, take a look at the hurlers here with Framber so far, pretty good with a 1-1 record, 2.5 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, 161 batting average against, and a 205 BABIP. For Sonny Gray here, 2-0. Cardinals have won all 3 of his starts. He is getting run support. We know that the Cardinals are hitting pretty well, averaging 5.5 runs per game. Gray, 4.5 ERA, 0.87 WHIP, however, with that control, and 207 batting average against, a 229 BABIP. Gray's been fine. It feels like you know what you're getting with in Sonny Gray, but the move here is to the Cardinals now, and well, Gray's been very profitable, but Framber is right there, and the Astros. We know it's been the offense so far, averaging just 4 runs per game. That's been kind of an issue so far. So, all right, see what you got in this one. Houston's won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams here, and. St. Louis obviously has had some struggles, mostly on the road so far out of the few series so far. Cardinals are actually 6-3 at home so far this season, but they're a dismal 1-4 as a favorite here. Both teams are 7-8 coming in. Cardinals are 4-1 to the over as a favorite, but the Astros are 1-3-2 to the under as a dog. And let's go to the chat maybe here for this matchup. Cardinals first 5 here for Thomas Cashcane. Likes Cardinals, Irish King Cardinals. Here's Justin with an Altuve prop to go over his total bases. Here's Luis. He likes the under 9 Legacy Astros here. Money line. Jerry Davis Cards and over. Or Robert Cards and over. Here's Cards for Thomas for the consensus play. Cardinals over the Stros at home here. And that's our consensus. So I think I'm going to move to the total here then. That'll give us 2 plays to look at. I'll try the total here. I think I know what I'm doing, so to speak. All right. I got to try the under here in this one with Valdez and Gray. Give me the under with Houston and St. Louis. Cards team total here. I think that's the over that Jerry said. If I'm looking at the price right, I don't have it in front of me. And Action Jackson on the Cardinals too. So man, consensus Cardinals here to take care of the Astros here. What kind of season is this going to be? The demise of the Astros? Remember, the Cardinals have been bad, but all right. Next up, we're almost done here. Well, you got a Padres team here taking on the good series. Got to give the Cubs plenty of respect here, even if you're the Padres and you've won every home game so far. We only play 81 home games. The Padres are already more than 10% home, undefeated. 10-0 record at home so far for the Padres. Cubs are 7-3 on the road. They're 11-7 overall. The best thing about the Cubs is the fact that they've played, a healthy amount of road games and are playing pretty well on the road. I think there's room for some excitement here for the Cubs, at least early on before they fade into the sunset. But let's see what you got here against my Padres. Can they do it? Dylan Cease again. Look, I love Dylan Cease. And the price has come down a little bit. I think it's honest to say there is some $1.60 stuff out there, but maybe you could say it's $1.55 or so. And I think there's a lot of the winning streak there put into this. It still feels like it's too high of a price against the Cubs today. It does feel like it's too high, but this winning streak is so impressive that it has to be considered that they're playing with a lot of momentum. They're selling out all these games. There's a lot of excitement here with the team. Padres 13-3 overall. Cubs are 12-5-1 to the over. Jameson Taillon has a 6.06 ERA. Dylan Cease has a 7.98 ERA. So he hasn't been all that. For sure so far this season. But Padres are 3-6-1 to the under at home. Cubs are an over team on the road as well, 6-3-1. And Taillon so far, 1.34 whip, 273 batting average for Cease. He's got a 390 BABIP so far. So look, I think Cease is a pretty good pitcher, but I'd be almost worried here at this point. Still, nothing to worry about, I would guess, if you're the Padres, and things are going pretty good so far. Padres have won 6 of their last 7 overall. Cubs have won 5 of their last 6 on the road. They're 9-3 in their last 12 games here. Coming into this one, 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two in San Diego have gone under. Let's go to the chat, though, in this one. Feels like the game of the night to me between the Cubs and the Padres. That's a pretty. Maybe you might point to the Giants and the Cardinals too. All right. Here we go with Jermaine. Will start us off here, and Jermaine says, "Padres lay the run, lay the 2." Thomas says, "Go over here." 9 Legacy, Cubs money line over my Padres. He likes the Cubs here. And look, I mean, I want to, kind of spoil the, but it just feels like to me that maybe a little bit too high. Cease looks inconsistent to me right now. And Spoon says I can get a little bit of an angle here. Justin likes the Padres over. Robert likes the under, though. And I think 9 Legacy says Cease in his hits allowed prop. Robert here likes it as it's a low scoring, tight game. Terrell says lay the run line. And Jerry says Padres and over. They'll beat up on Jamison Tyone here in this one. Yeah, I think if you look at the match, I mean, you got 2 top 5. Well, maybe I think the Padres. I got them as my number 6 offense so far. But the Cubs, like I said, I've been on this Cubs offense all the way so far. They're averaging 6.4 runs per game. But Irish King here says they're gonna take them down here. So, all right. I think let me make my call here. Maybe I'm going to chicken out because kind of want to. I feel like the price is still too high. As great as this Padres situation has been here right now, the sharps are on the Cubs. I guarantee you that. All right. I'm frozen here all of a sudden. In this matchup. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna take the over in this one of the Cubs and the Padres tonight. All right. I'm worried about, I don't think Dylan, she should be better. I don't know. How do you do that? How do you do the spinning? That's what I was just doing, right? How do you do that? I didn't know that was an emoji. Jerry David, the Padres, the number 1 bullpen in the league. Don't forget, every game's a low scoring game for sure, but I'm taking the over. Spoon says, what a weekend it was, right? With those Cubs in Dodgers Stadium. Good series, wasn't it? All right. But they had the 16-0 win just a couple of nights ago. The Dodgers had never lost 16-0, I don't think, as a Los Angeles Dodgers. I think that's what they said. One more in the major leagues, and we'll get on to hockey here with the Rockies taking on the Dodgers here in this one. Dodgers 350. Talk about lines that are even this one maybe a little bit too high, but they still should roll this Rockies team. The Rockies scored no runs last night. They scored no runs on Saturday night. They scored no runs on Friday night. Dodgers here. But Rockies, that kind of sounds like my social life. There are no scoring. For the Dodgers here, though, a couple losses to the Cubs, obviously coming in. Still, Dodgers 7-2 at home. Rockies just 1-8 on the road. So I'm sure they can roll these guys here tonight. Just a matter of can you stomach the price. mostly 3. I may have got a little greedy there on the on-screen graphic. I think every price is a little bit cheaper no matter where you look, but not much. Just 345 at DraftKings. Here in Vegas, you got a lot of 340s. Even the sharpest books are 315 or 320. But there's no doubt it was a little bit. The send out was much lower here, I believe. And realistically, I mean, maybe $3 or less is the right price. Let's go to your plays though. We know how this one sets up right now with this Rockies situation. They've lost 7 in a row on the road right now. Dodgers here have lost what 5 of their last 7, but here they're playing the Rockies. Okay, here we go. How can we play this game, right? Dodgers over team total for Justin Germain says. Rockies team total under. And yeah, Jerry says, yep, how about that? And yeah, Spoons, you're probably right, but I don't know. This is pretty bad, right? Terrell says the Dodgers are like buying eggs at the store here. Maybe we should just buy our own chickens. Laker Boy says it's wild. Nice to have Laker Boy here. He's just in time for the postseason. Robert says go under here still with this. You got Dustin. Don't forget, let me at least talk about Dustin May, right? 0.82 ERA so far, 0.9 WHIP, 108 batting average against. Guys, been dynamite. The only thing missing for Dustin May so far is a victory. Dodgers are 1-1 in his starts. Senzatella, 0-2, 5.14 ERA, 2.1 WHIP coming in. So, I mean, there's just, it's hard to fathom, other than the price itself, how you can get on the Rockies here. I'm going to go under, though, in this one tonight with Colorado and the Dodgers. All right, that's it for the baseball. Thank you, everybody. Let's go to our hockey here. Now, we'll talk about them all just because here we only have 6 games. They're not all relative, but hey, we're looking to bet here today. We're not going to pass, even though yesterday we just went over the important games. We just got a 6-game card. So let's talk about Dallas and Detroit. This game doesn't have any impact currently in the standings, but it does involve a playoff team, obviously, in the Dallas Stars. We know the Dallas Stars here so far. They are going to play the Colorado Avalanche in the first round of the playoffs. Dallas is the number 2 seed after all coming in. So it's a tune-up or a rest spot possibly here going up against the Red Wings. And for the Red Wings, their season, of course, came to an end. Playoff-wise, they're not going to make it. Not everything's been settled in the East yet because Columbus is coming on fast over against my Montreal Canadiens. But Dallas has been treating the last portion of the season like their season is over. They're on a losing streak here right now. Meanwhile, the Red Wings were able to grab a win last time out, even though their season seemed to be doomed. They were able to beat Tampa Bay 4-3. They played a tough schedule of late and beat some good teams. They beat Carolina, they beat Florida, they beat Tampa Bay. Now, they were alive and back a win in a couple of those games, but it does feel like an honest effort here so far from Detroit. And for Dallas, not so much. It's almost as if they're ready for the postseason here with this losing streak right now for Dallas. So can they get up here today? Do they care? Do they want to get up here in this matchup? All right, so let me fire up the goalie computer here and see if we have anything from the skates here early on. Dallas has dominated this series. That's something to consider for sure. Let's see if we got the numbers on it. But man, the first meeting was 4-1. Dallas won it. Dallas won both meetings last year, and Dallas won both meetings in the season prior to that. So been dominant for sure. Dallas has won 8 straight meetings between the two teams, but we'll see if they can do this one because it doesn't feel like they're giving it much effort out there. All right, chat. Going to cover the hockey here tonight. And in the comments, we've got nothing. Thanks, Spoon. See you later. Appreciate it. Well, I've just got to make my call here in this matchup between Dallas and Detroit. I got to take the Detroit Red Wings. I'm not worried about the series history here. I'm going to think that Detroit playing with a little bit of spunk here late. Can I say that word anymore? I'll take them over Dallas tonight. Here's a couple of comments. Robert's got the over here in this one. And didn't comment too much on that. But of late, see if we got some of the numbers on these guys of late. Here, obviously, Detroit went over in that game against Tampa Bay the other night. They've actually had some rest here coming in. But Detroit has gone under in 3 of their last 4. I'm going to take Detroit. Next up's the Rangers going to take on the Panthers here with Igor in net for the Rangers and Bob in the net here for the Panthers. Panthers, we already said, took the widely reported steam, moved this price up considerably here right now to $1.70, $1.75, even at some spots, 5.5 over 15, maybe over 20 here in this one. See where we stand here. This game does have a little bit of impact for sure on the postseason. In fact, we don't know where the Florida Panthers will land at this point. This is probably the most intriguing situation of the playoffs is what's going to happen here in the Atlantic. Granted, there are only 2 games left and they can't catch the leaders here, but they're still trying to chase down Tampa Bay a little bit. Right now, Toronto on 100. I want to say they're on 104 points, right? Tampa Bay on 100 points and Florida on 98 points. Florida's won 3 straight coming in. The Rangers are floundering towards the finish with a little bit of losing here. Lost 4 out of their last 5 games overall. Rangers just 8-20 as an underdog so far this season. So got to figure Florida's going to take care of business here. They're definitely a legitimate chance to catch Tampa, but they need to win them both here, and Tampa need to at least lose one. I think Tampa, I'm not sure with the tiebreaker. I didn't go that far. Okay. Nothing much from you guys here, of course. I think everybody's ready for the postseason in hockey, too. So let me make my call in the game here at Florida dollars. Pretty high price, man, high price. The rent is too damn high is kind of what it feels like here, but widely reported steam on Florida here for sure. Rangers 22-17 to the over on the road, but 10-18 to the under as a dog. All right. I'll just take Florida here. I'll just take them on the money line, kind of, we're getting late here. Anything can happen in some of these games, it feels like. Action Jackson says, you get a little better price. Go in regulation here for Action Jackson. All right. And next up, you got the Blackhawks taking on the Canadians here. This one definitely is a important game right now for Montreal. We've been waiting for them to win here, or some of us have, but Columbus has been hot on the Canadians, as well as the Canadians have played, right? The Blue Jackets are coming fast. Right now, about 2 games left. Montreal on 88 points, Columbus on 85 points, and Columbus is obviously, hoping for an upset. Canadians still 275, 6 over 15. They better win this one tonight. That would do it because that'll put them on 90 points, and Columbus just 2 games left. So Montreal, big game, but they're up to 275, and they've lost 2 in a row. They've, they were hot, but then they lost when it was the season was on the line. All right, let's see what you got here in this one. Maybe a good look to the total. Montreal's got to win here soon, don't they? Montreal 4-7-1 to the under is a favorite this season, but Chicago 41-31 to the over is a dog. Still 16-22 to the over to the under on the road for Chicago here. And we've got Montreal in regulation, says Jermaine. All right. Nobody here to talk a little hockey with me, it feels like right now. So I'm going to end up on the under here in this one with Chicago and Montreal. Give me the under here with Chicago on the road for sure. Montreal much tighter against bad teams at home. They're able to keep them down. In fact, Montreal's gone under in 6 of their last 7 games coming in, and 10 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Chicago's been going over of late for sure, over in 7 of their last 10 overall, but Chicago's lost 4 out of their last 5 games against Montreal and just went 1-7 on the road. So Montreal better do it tonight. All right. Next up, Utah taking on the Predators here in this one. This one has no impact. Unlike Dallas and Detroit, where it has no impact, but you have one team go to the playoffs. Here you do have 2 teams not going anywhere. So if there is any game that we're just going to briefly touch on here, and I'll make a pick on a day like today. I know we didn't cover them all yesterday, but I'm probably going to end up on Utah here, even as a favorite right now. I'm just so disenchanted with what Nashville has done this year. Granted, they are 19-17 at home so far, and Utah 19-15 on the road. They've been a very good road team, but Nashville is 12-28 as an underdog. And Utah is a clear favorite. Oh, man, they're up to $1.60 now. We talked about that steam, but, man, this is a big price. But here late in the season, I think I'm willing to do it. And I think I'll just do it as my play here on the show. It's a terrible price. Give me Utah to beat Nashville on the road tonight. I'm taking Utah here in this one. All right. Next up. Okay. Hey, if you couldn't get enough of the Kings and Oilers, let's just play in the next to last regular season game. These two are already set to probably face off. We know there's still a little bit to be determined here in the playoff picture in the NHL, but if these two teams don't end up facing off one another in the matchup, the 2-3 here in the West, I would be surprised. Vegas has clinched the number 1 seed, so they'll end up playing one of the wild card teams, and then the Kings will play the Oilers. It's just a matter of which team is going to be the team that gets the home ice advantage. The Kings are on 101 points. The Kings also, though, have a game in hand. They have 3 games. Is that right? The Kings have 3 games left right now. Let me make sure that's right here. Yeah. So, I do think they'll probably end up here with that 2 spot, but Edmonton at home here, big chance to close the gap at least for one night and pull into a tie here and put the pressure on the Kings a little bit here. But these two teams will meet in the postseason, most likely for the 4th straight year. But Edmonton can and should and feel like they need to wrestle that home ice advantage from the NHL's best home team. You would like to have that home ice for sure, even though it's kind of one where you might think, you could throw out the home team records with such a rivalry, if you will, between Edmonton and LA. Edmonton's won 3 straight. LA has won 2 straight, but we know that LA is a huge question mark on the road. This is where they've had all their problems for sure. Also, LA's lost 11 of the last 15 meetings in Edmonton. LA's lost 10 of their last 14 on the road. Edmonton's 4-1, last 5 games at home, 6-2 in their last 8 games overall. They've beaten the Kings not only in 11 of the last 14, but 7 of the last 8 here at home right now. So, of course, the Oilers have had some dysfunction late due to injury down the stretch, and tonight, still injuries worth looking at on Edmonton for sure. With Nugent Hopkins questionable, Hyman questionable, Draisaitl questionable coming into this one. So they do have some injuries for sure. This team's been beat up. But McDavid, in there, it looks like he's been looking good. They tell me right now coming in. So, all right, give me your play here if you'd like with LA and Edmonton tonight. Oh, Nine Legacy was on Florida. Thank you. I missed that. Blue likes the Kings tonight. I don't know if I can do it. I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers here in this one. I got to try Edmonton. Kings dismal on the road. I think Edmonton knows they need the home ice advantage. They feel, I'm going to take Edmonton. One more on the ice, and I guess that's going to be it for our show on Monday. San Jose taking on Vancouver here in this one. I didn't even go through any of the confirmed goalies, did we? I don't think we have any, that's all. No, nothing confirmed yet here. But one thing that is confirmed is that you have Vancouver, a $3 favorite here against San Jose, 6/20 in this one. This one does have meaning here for sure because of the current standing here right now. Let me get the situation straight here. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, Vancouver is out. That's right. They are done ski now. All right, another one where nothing to play for here. So 315, I don't know. Just get me out of here at this point. I'm picking San Jose and Vancouver hockey games on a Monday. All right, for me, I'll try San Jose on the puck line. Why not? If I didn't know Vancouver was out, maybe they don't know. I'll take the Sharks here tonight. Oh, it's going to do it for the morning steam. Short slate tonight. Oak Caps likes Montreal. Nine Legacy likes Montreal. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. Have a great sports betting day. Join me over at winnable.com. Get my best plays for today in games that mean something, and probably when you're talking about the premiums, where we have something to play for, and I'll have Major League Baseball selections as well. I feel like a light card on the premiums, so why not get the 56 cents a day, the $4 package for today. Hey, I'm going to have some stuff out there behind the paywall for sure. Come on here every day giving you some picks, but if you want more picks from me in a more timely fashion, closer to game time, all the information in, subscribe over at winnable.com. Get more plays from me here at my sports money premiums. So really appreciate it, everybody, that you joined me here on the show. And we're going to do the drawing here right now. So get ready for our consensus drawing. Thomas is, we got, our consensus plays in here. We've got the Mets today. We've got the Cardinals in here. That might be it. So let's give someone a chance. And hey, share the video, hit the like button so that maybe we can get our winner more money with the plays today. All right, here we go. We bring up the contest drawing here and see who's going to win. Oh, Blue Jay. Okay, thanks, Thomas. Sorry about that. I missed the oh, there it is, the Blue Jays. Yeah, 3 teams. Here we go. Textiles, Cash Cane, AOD, Spoons, Oak Caps, Joseph, AOD, oh yeah, Damon, Laker Boy, Oak Caps, and perennial winner, Stop Geo. He stops in, he wins, and then we never get the consensus. But Stop Geo, great to join us every time. Always has a great quip or stat in there. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. Join Mikey Money and Company here today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific with pre-gaming. Mikey will go over the primetime action here in Major League Baseball and NHL for Monday night. And I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific with more Morning Steam. We'll preview not only Major League Baseball, have some hockey, but the NBA play-in games. Remember, got the big games coming up here for the play-in this week. We're underway in the NBA playoffs. It's going to do it for the show. Thank you so much, everybody, here on the Sports Money Network. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
That's gonna cash. Maybe make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.